When you're looking to let people know about your garage, yard, or estate sale, we are here for you. Fill out the garage sale form on hayspost.com before noon on Wednesdays. We'll then advertise it for you free of charge on Hays Post. With our interactive maps, the buyers can follow directions right to your location. This service is brought to you by Remax Pro Real Estate of Hays, Nextech Wireless, Northwestern Printers, Coldwell Banker Executive Realty of Hays, Midwest Energy, Eagle Communications, and hayspost.com.
Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching, and thanks as always to the producer and editor of our series, Brenda Cooley from Eagle Community Television. We're at the Smoky Hill Country Club on the Drive with the Associate Professor in the Department of Art and Design at Fort Hays State University, Toby Flores, who is on the faculty at Fort Hays State and has produced the sculpture that you see at the Smoky Hill Country Club. Toby, let's start, if we could, with your journey into art. How did that take place?
Well, I've always been drawing and making art since I was a little kid. My parents really encouraged that, and my brother was really the better artist, and so I always strived to, be as good as he was, and then I just continued with it. Older brother in high school. He could draw spaceships and things. He was really good at it. And then, he did other things, and I just kept pursuing it. And so I went to school in San Diego and studied printmaking and drawing and painting. And then finally at San Diego State took a sculpture class and fell in love, and that was it.
And it was mainly sculpture that really attracted your interest?
Sculpture, and specifically metal sculpture. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took a beginning sculpture class and learned how to use an oxyacetylene torch, and then the rest was history after that.
But what you said, I think, Toby, is very important for parents to hear. They encouraged you in
They always encouraged creativity, in lots of ways. Not just art making. My parents we didn't go to museums and things. Mm-hmm. But my mom was a wonderful cook, and she could sew and crochet and different types of art. And my father could work with wood. He was a good dancer, a really good dancer. They were a good dancing team. And then they were all good storytellers. And so a lot of my art is really narrative. Not this piece specifically, but my personal art is a little bit kind of like storytelling.
So there's a story in your art then?
Exactly.
Tell me about the inspirations that guided you. You mentioned parents as part of that.
Parents, and I think the early inspiration probably would be a lot of stuff that we would see in church, because we didn't go to museums. We didn't go to art museums and galleries and things as kids, but we went to church a lot, and so all that stuff that you see in the Catholic Church was very inspirational, and a lot of my work is very Baroque and decorative in a way, I think, because of that. But my early professors and especially Jess Dominguez was my figurative sculptor teacher at San Diego State, and he's big inspiration, and I think gives me the confidence, his classes, to do work such as this. My personal work, I really don't do figurative stuff, but not that I can't. And so Jess Dominguez is a big inspiration when I have to do this type of work, like the tiger on the Fort Hays campus, that sort of stuff. But other artists, mostly professors. My Jerry Dumlau was my undergrad sculpture professor and taught me how to cast metal and weld metal, and I think of him all the time. We're getting a brand new facility at Fort Hays, brand new foundry, brand new blacksmithing studio. And in setting that whole studio up, I just keep thinking about Jerry and the way he set up his shop, and so he's still helping me even though he's many miles away.
I think it's interesting, though, Toby, that you pointed out, as well as parents and instructors, providing you with the inspiration, but also the confidence to do what you do?
Yeah, it's kind of intimidating to think that you're going to make a life-size figure out of just oil clay. You know, it's exciting in the beginning, but then you have to actually do the work, and so you have to stay confident, and that process is so long to cast metal, to cast bronze. The amount of time is so long that it takes to do that you have to, you know, be reminded of that, that you could do it, you could pull it off.
Tell me a little bit about the process itself. First of all, the title of the piece. Has it been titled yet?
No, it hasn't been titled yet, but we've been thinking about something along the lines of friendship. Mary Gunther is the one that really was the one that, the visionary. She's the one that really thought about the idea of having this sculpture out here. And she wanted a male and a female. They're not necessarily married or anything, but they are friends. And she made a lot of friends here at the country club, and that's what this piece is really about. So something along the lines of friendship, I think, is going to be the title when we get that done. Tell
me about the time frame. This has been an ongoing process for about a decade, right?
Yeah, probably about 8 years. The Women's Auxiliary really started it, and Mary Gunther's really the spearheaded all of it. But yeah, it was a long time coming. They had an idea. They just didn't have all the funding together at that time. We did a lot of preliminary drawings, and we made models. We even cast a maquette in bronze at one point. But it took them a while to raise the money, but they finally did, and it's wonderful that we could pull it off, because it was, you know, Mary, mostly for Mary. There's lots of other people, Nancy Talbot, Terry McDonald. There's lots of people that wanted this to happen, and it's really cool that we could do it. We could pull it off.
And actually, you make a small size version of what the actual sculpture will be.
Quarter scale. We made a quarter scale model, which helped us to just blow it up to life size, and that's pretty regular. That's a pretty standard.
And of course, you used your artist's influence and your experience and expertise, but you also got country club input as well from the Women's Auxiliary.
Yeah, they had a lot of input on the position and the models that we used, and then Danielle Robinson. She actually did most of the modeling of the clay, so she did the hard parts. You know, she did the faces, and you know, we worked on it together, of course. But I don't do anything without Danielle, so
and
she made it happen.
We'll talk with Danielle here in just a few minutes. But again, the positioning, the landscaping, and all was part of the overall grand design then.
Yes, I mean, originally we were just doing two figures. Ed Hammond got involved. There used to be some golf cart like garages here.
Oh.
And it was kind of an eyesore because they were kind of falling apart. And so after Ed Hammond got involved, he wanted to put up this stone wall and do some more landscaping, so it turned into a lot bigger project.
So all the golf cart sheds came down.
They came down.
This was then landscaped, and then
the sculpture came in. And they're almost done. You can see there's still some dirt here. They're going to put in some lighting, and I think some more plantings eventually. But it's really going to be nice. I think it's a really nice when you drive up and you turn the corner and you can see all this. I think it just really helps to the overall beauty. The golf course is beautiful, but they needed a little art, I think.
And certainly a welcoming entrance to the Smoky Hill Country Club. You also did the sign too, didn't you? On the
we did. Danielle and I did the sign too. That's a whole different story, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good.
That's another community connection at some point.
Right?
Good. How about some other public works that you've done, Toby, that are on display that we can enjoy?
We did the Tiger. It's on the Fort Hays campus. I did that just, I was only here for a few months when we started that. And then Danielle and I have done the St. Nicholas, which is on the St. Nicholas Church on 13th. We did that with Tim Chapman. Tim Chapman helped us on that. And then we've done some door stops in front of the visitor center. Some small bronzes.
Those are yours
there.
then. Okay.
Yeah. And you know, some other things for some for other patrons, but more private kind of
Private.
work, gates and things
Not
like that.
for public
Not
display.
for public display. Yeah.
What's your current work?
Well, currently I'm moving a lot of heavy equipment over to the new facility. So the sculpture area is getting a new foundry, a new blacksmithing studio. It's really wonderful what's happening. So moving a lot of work, but we're also working with the town of Codell. They're about, I don't know, maybe they're about 40 minutes from here, for a big tornado sculpture. Codell was hit with a tornado in I might get this wrong, I think it's 17, 18, and 19. 3 years in a row they were hit. This little tiny town was hit by a tornado on the same day, May 20th, I believe.
Oh my goodness.
3 years in a row
Never
on
heard
the
that
exact.
story.
It's a crazy story. It's a crazy story. So it's been 100 years. So they're trying to kind of celebrate that, and you know, a lot of times, you know, we make figurative sculpture for public display, but this is going to be really kind of cool because we're going to make a big, maybe 20-foot tall tornado.
Wow.
So that'd be kind of fun.
Can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
That's going to be quite a project, though.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get started. Yeah,
Okay.
in the new shop.
And
So,
yeah, with that new building and the art and design facility is just going to be first class again.
it is. Yeah, I'm really, really excited.
Well,
Yeah.
we're going to enjoy this for a long time, for sure. So one thing about metal sculpture, it's going to be with us.
It lasts. It holds up.
lasts.
Yeah.
It does. And we're happy to have the expertise and the creativity of Toby Flores at Fort
Thanks,
Hays
Michael.
State
Thank you.
Department of Art and Design.
Thanks. I appreciate
Our
that.
community connection. We're going to meet another partner in this project coming up as our community connection continues.
My name is Jeremy Burkholder and I manage the Network Operations Center at Eagle Communications. My job at the Network Operations Center is ensuring that we've got the right members of the Eagle team involved in supporting our customers, resolving their issues, and making sure we meet their needs long term. Service to me is understanding my customers' needs and ensuring that we're meeting them, as well as ensuring they have a reliable product on a day-to-day basis. The favorite part of my job is when I get the opportunity to work with the great team we have at Eagle to exceed the customer's expectations and showing them what an employee-owned company can do.
Welcome back to our community connection. We're at the Smoky Hill Country Club on the Drive with Danielle Robinson, who is an adjunct professor in the Department of Art and Design at Fort Hays State University. Danielle was part and parcel of this project that artist Toby Flores created with sculpture. Danielle, let's begin, if we could, about your input. How did this work with you and Toby getting this project done over this past 8 years? How did that work out?
A lot of meetings, a lot of design or placement of the figures, and then maquettes, which is just a smaller example of what you see in the background here. And it's a lot of hours.
And
8
staying
years.
staying on task, right?
Yeah, sometimes time gets away from you.
Tell me about your areas of influence in art. What drove you to the world of art?
I took a class in my undergraduate studies in art appreciation, I believe, and I had to do a couple of projects. And I always had people around me that were creative as far as craft-wise, and so I started taking that course, and it really fueled me to start taking more art courses in my undergraduate studies.
And where was this? Which
In
university?
Oklahoma, Panhandle State University.
Panhandle State.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How'd you find the journey to Fort Hays State?
Well, I thought about doing art therapy, and that just didn't end up working out. I wasn't interested in that anymore. I was too far into making art, so I applied here, and I got in. So my degree is actually in ceramics, and a minor in painting. But I love ceramic sculpture, and so then I met Toby. We actually arrived on campus at the same time. So.
Have you had works on display? Where?
Gallery walks. I'm actually a guest artist for my undergraduate school coming up in March. Toby and I have a show together at the Goodland Arts Center.
Wow. So you're going back to Panhandle State then
Yeah.
with some of your work.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be nice for you to be able to reconnect with some of those past influences.
I'm really looking forward to it. It was quite an honor to be invited. So.
Did you have other influences other than professors at the university at Panhandle State?
Just your classmates really fueled. We all worked together and we stayed up late and we just made art. We had a really good network of people that we just all pushed each other. And
for those of us on the outside, Danielle, I think that's it. You just make art, don't you? Whatever influence. What about this particular influence? What strikes you about the sculpture that has finally come to completion?
As far as, as Toby, I am also not a figurative sculptor. So I enjoy making it into different ideas. So I focus on, say, folds or the material, and to me that's more interesting than the project overall.
So the figures, are they more difficult generally than, say, other sculpture models or types?
Monotonous, maybe.
That's a good phrase. Because of what? What makes it?
So many attentions to detail.
You've got to have thorough detail, don't you? As we can see from the pieces there, everything from the hats to the clubs, obviously, to the dress, and obviously the facial expressions as well. Huh?
Yes.
It's time consuming, huh?
that it is.
Well, what do you think about what's your opinion of the final process here, even though there's still a little landscaping left? The project itself is complete.
I think that it's a beautiful placement. They turned out nicely and they look great in the space. So.
And the thing is,
and you see them as soon as you drive
as soon as you make the turn at the
Right.
corner here at the Smoky Hill Country Club. And the beautiful thing is, for those of us on the outside of the art world, we're going to be able to enjoy this every time we come in.
Absolutely.
Thanks to you and the work of artist Toby Flores. Danielle Robinson, adjunct professor in the Department of Art and Design at Fort Hays State University. Back in a moment as we talk art with the director of the Hays Arts Council, Brenda Mader, on our Community Connection.
Hi, I'm Jeremy McGuire. I'm an account executive with Eagle Marketing Solutions. On a typical day, I'll come in and I'll check my calendar, check my appointments, prep all my stuff for those appointments, and then look at who else I can help out, and then I start my day. Clients want to know that you are there for them, even if you're just checking in and saying, hey, and how are things going? What I enjoy most about my job is the people. Not only the people that I work with here at Eagle Communications, but also the people that I get to work with out in the community and find marketing solutions that work for them.
Our Community Connection continues as we continue to explore the art world with the director of the Hays Arts Council, Brenda Mader. And let's talk first of all, Brenda, about Toby's work here, Toby and Danielle's work on the Smoky Hill Country Club exhibit.
Yeah, with a little practice, these guys could be good.
We're hoping that takes place at some point.
This is wonderful. Toby and Danielle are very, very talented. I think this is stunning, and I know how much care and love and attention was put into it, not only by those artists, but by the committee from the country club who's been pursuing this for so long. Like Toby mentioned, Mary Gunthers, who was from Quinter and actually has passed away, but it was so important to her that this be part of it, and Nancy and Ed working on it. It's been a really important project for a lot of reasons. And Hays isn't, outside of the work by our incredible Pete Felton, we don't have a lot of public sculpture in our community, and in part, it doesn't lend itself to the size of sidewalks or spaces or things like that. And like I said, it's wonderful that we've got the Felton things we do, but to have other methods of public sculpture, whether, the ones down on campus or, this now out here at the country club, is really wonderful and exciting. And because it's not closed off, it really is for public enjoyment and appreciation, because anyone can traverse in here and enjoy it. And when they get the lighting on it, it'll be stunning at night. But yeah, they do an amazing job. And now with new digs and a new environment, just more incredible things are going to continue to come out of that sculpture program.
Pay close attention because it's time for the Fall Gallery Walk.
It is. We'll be seeing a little bit of Toby sculpture in that one as well as the work of a lot of other amazing artists for our community. We're very near the 50th anniversary mark of the Hayes Arts Council, which was chartered October 9th of 1967. So our Fall Art Walk, our summer one, we were celebrating that anniversary coming up, but focusing on our history with that sesquicentennial exhibit. This one is about the cultural legacy in our community within and outside of the confines of the Hayes Arts Council, but a 50-year cultural legacy. And so in fact, the show that we are hosting on that night, August 25th, is entitled simply 50, and it will be 50 works by 50 different artists celebrating 50 years.
Wow.
So there will be a lot of people that have passed on that are not here anymore, some younger artists who are remaining active with the Smoky Hill and teaching classes for us, and everything in between. It's going to be an outstanding show, and that will actually just be one of, I believe, 21 locations featuring something special that night for a total of, I think, about 25 separate exhibitions. So it's going to be a fabulous night. But again, that is Friday, August the 25th, with the core time being 6:30 to 9:30. But a couple of things that kick off early, including an amazing exhibition down at the Moss Thorns Gallery by Mike Hartung, this very reclusive artist who has never really shown much before, but has been making art, some wild and wacky stuff, some interesting stuff, things that people have gotten excited about. And the Fort Hayes exhibit is concurrent with one at the San Zane Gallery in Lindsborg and one at the Salina Arts Center. So it's been this big deal. That one will kick off at 6, and a few other things that start early. But otherwise, the core of the art walk being 6:30 to 9:30. And by the time people see this, we will be having the complete list of locations up on our website, but we will also have information at our place the night of the art walk, and probably try to get it to some of the others so that people can pick up brochures as they go to make sure they connect with all the great places, because we've got some new ones this time. Everybody knows some of the typical ones on, but Julissa Haynes Photography is going to be on the art walk. That's a new one. Toby and some of his great team from the sculpture program will be over at Tiger Burgers, a new site, Paisley Pear, Sean Musel's new operation. They are first timers for the art walk, and a great exhibit by a gentleman named Luis Mario Figueroa, who I believe by trade is a surveyor, been living in Hayes for a couple of years, but is an outstanding, well-trained, amazing artist, and he will be in our annex space. So it's exciting to get to introduce this great artist to our community for the first time. So all just wonderful. Again, be looking for that on our Facebook page, so like us there, check out our website, and just come out that evening. Just come out, no fee. It's however you want to construct your evening is how you do it on the art walk.
What's the website?
www.hayesartscouncil.org, or just Google Hayes Arts Council. It'll be the first thing up, and our Facebook page is just under Hayes Arts Council.
Okay, the fall events briefly in the coming season?
Well, this wonderful big exhibit 50 that we're doing will run up until October the 13th. And then we'll have our annual meeting, and we're going to conclude and chat about that event a little bit at the end of it. But so that'll run through them because it's such a special exhibition. We kick off school programs with our first residency in serving the 12 elementary schools that we serve in Hayes, Ellis, Victoria, Plainville, and Russell, with Jay and Leslie Cady, Laughing Matters, who do this wonderful cross-curriculum performing arts and an incredible level of education. So it's highly entertaining, but highly, highly, highly informative and educational. And this year's program is going to be on science, geology, ecology, the environment, really interesting things, but funny, entertaining. The kids love it. And we've also got Wichita Children's Theater coming in, so great theater opportunities during the day for certain grades of school young people, certain grades of school kids, and then a public performance in the evening. By shortly after Labor Day, we'll be announcing the big 5-state photography exhibition that we do every year. That competition will get underway shortly after Labor Day. We'll be introducing that. And the good stuff just kind of keeps rolling. Got an incredible theater production from a Dallas Children's Theater on November 17th. Big production in the Beach Mid Performing Arts Center, one of our big expensive ones, best touring family theater company really by most people's standards in the country. So really awesome, exciting things.
Never
and that's just
a
the
dull
fall.
moment.
No, it's going to be wonderful.
All right,
absolutely wonderful.
Before we get to the special event that's coming up for the 50th, What's the story of Toby and the zucchini?
Oh, well, Toby's family are great gardeners as well. And like Toby and Danielle both said, all artists have these things that they do, or their personal expressions, their thought process, their whimsy, their seriousness, whatever it might be. And Toby does a variety of things, and one of the things that he has made a tribute of for a number of years, and it will be the piece in our 50 show, courtesy of Toby, is his annual zucchini project. Every year, he and his family celebrate the largest zucchini by having Toby cast it, pouring it in iron, and it gets put on this trophy-like ladder, dated, and so we're going to have zucchini in the fall art walk. It won't be served at the refreshment table, but it will be on display in the gallery, and it's going to be wonderful.
Don't miss that.
Oh, it's going to be great fun. No, that show will truly run the gamut of the serious to the sublime, the small to the large, two-dimensional, three-dimensional, ceramic, sculpture, bronze, but university faculty members. Like I said, people that have gone before, artists that are still continuing to work, people who are professional full-time artists in our community. It's going to be such an exciting, wonderful show. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Now, the special event for the sesquicentennial, as well as the Hayes Arts Council's
Absolutely,
50.
double whammy.
And I guess we have to say Brenda Mader's 17th probably as a
27th.
27.
27.
Over half of the Arts Council's existence.
Yeah, October 9th, 1967, as I said, was our charter date. And so on October 14th, happens to be Hayes High's homecoming weekend, so there may be a lot of people who want to engage in this, but celebrating our community's history, but also the point in time when the Hayes Arts Council bought the building. Although we're 50 years old, the Hayes Arts Council bought the building we're in, planting our literal, figurative, physical roots in downtown Hayes in 76 when that building was bought. Well, in 76, as you know, there was also a great program that was done on Hayes called A Quiet America. It was the bicentennial for our country. Other countries were intrigued by that and fascinated by what was going on. Well, this one Swedish television production team hooked up with one of their production teams and sent a film crew to America, a French film crew, to target a small town America, quiet America, the difference of what was going on the coasts at that time in our nation's history. And for a variety of reasons, they settled on Hayes, Kansas. And so there is a gorgeous, really beautiful love letter to our community, hour and 22-minute long documentary that was done on Hayes, Kansas, in Hayes, Kansas, interviewing local people like Harold Krause and Frank Flax and Pete Felton and Errol Wirtz and Mike Cooper and is in it, and seeing what our community looked like. Scotty Phillip going up and down Main Street on Vine Street, police officers and county sheriffs and what was going on in the retail community, the business community. It is an exquisite view of the people, places, and time in our community, April of 1976.
From a French production company
Yes.
and their perspective.
And what's wonderful is some people may have seen little glimpses of it here and there, and it's got all this French voiceover on it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not getting to hear the interview of Scotty Phillip or of Frank Flax or of Pete Felton. But the Hayes Arts Council actually bought the licensing rights. We paid a significant licensing fee to this Swedish company. or Swiss company, excuse me. I've never wired money to a bank in Switzerland before, but we did. And because we did, we also acquired a copy without any of the French voiceover. So you will hear everyone's interviews. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to be showing that film on Saturday, October the 14th in the Beach Schmidt Performing Arts Center. And again, as our 50th anniversary gift in honor of our community's 150th, it's going to be free and open to the public, done on the big screen in Beach Schmidt. Fort Hayes is assisting us by making it possible to be in Beach Schmidt. And so we're real excited. Be looking for more information, but Saturday, October the 14th, and we're just so excited. We're going to be translating some of the narrative that they did so that hopefully I can lay down another track. So we'll hear what they were saying as the narration of our community, the setups that they were doing.
With Brenda Mader as the narrator.
Absolutely, because I don't do French. I barely do English some days. But it's going to be so exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. And so that'll be a big celebration again, kind of a wrap up for our sesquicentennial year, not going back 150 years, but going back 40 at a time when we didn't see everything on video. We may have photos, but this is our community. I mean, Woolworths was still where Karen Dreiling's Furniture Look is now, and Patty Stoll's Coldwell Banker was laid up with glass and chrome because it was Radio Shack in front of that gorgeous brick building. And so just a lot of really cool, exciting things.
More about that coming in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike.
The director of the Hayes Arts Council, Brenda Mader, our community connection.
Don't miss the Green and Growing Show in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Eagle TV. Ellis County Horticulture Agent Holly Dickman will identify common lawn and garden issues while providing up-to-date information. Watch weekdays in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Channel 14 or 614. Green and Growing, brought to you by Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40, and Eagle TV.